Hello! Hey guys, I'm back with my my second review for Knights of the Frozen Throne. This time we will be going over Hunter. I'm pretty hyped for Hunter, man. Like Hunter has been in a bad spot for a while, and none of their cards are like absolutely insane. It's not like, oh, Hunter's got some insane stuff. They're definitely going to be back. But Hunter has got some tools that it's never really had. Yeah, let's discuss. So, we'll start with the hero card, Deathstalker Rexar. This is one of the first cards they revealed. 6 mana, gain 5 armor, battle cry, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So, an AoE. Like, Hunter has never really had AoE. You have Explosive Trap, which your opponent can play around, and Unleash the Hounds, which generally isn't that great for clearing the board unless combined with something like Knife Juggler. Or some kind of buff like a Leok or Timberwolf. But yeah, I really like this. And it gives you the hero power. 2 mana, summon a Zombeast, which allows you to put 2 beasts together to form 1 beast. So it combines their stats, combines the mana, attack, health into 1 minion. So yeah, it's hero power. You can obviously get insane value off. Like Hunter has always struggled with card draw, and this is basically adding a new beast to your hand every single turn. You can get big beasts as well. So the value you can get from the hero power is actually pretty ridiculous. There's also some new beasts now that have different effects that can make this even better. So we have a 0 mana 1/1 beast, the penguin, which I think is very good. And that can give you bigger tempo plays with the hero power, so you can get like minions that are going to be overstated for their mana cost. And also we have a lifesteal beast. So Hunter actually has a beast that can restore you health, which is crazy because Hunter has never had anything that can restore you health. It's obviously a neutral card, so you can play it in any class. But it's a 5 mana 4/4 beast called Bloodworm, and it has lifesteal. So sometimes you can get lifesteal stuff. And obviously taunt minions. This can allow you to create more taunt minions, which is going to be good if you're playing a controlled Hunter and you're behind. So this is actually possibly my favorite hero card, even though it was the first that was revealed. I just love this hero card a lot. I really do like it. I really like it a lot. Yeah. And how good is it going to be though? That's the question. Obviously, Paladin has Consecrate, which is deal 2 damage to all enemies. This also gives you 5 armor. So it's kind of like for 6 mana, it's kind of initially you're like, oh, this isn't doing that much for 6 mana. But you can combine it with stuff, right? You can use this and then like use an Unleash the next turn or something to clean up or something like that. You can use it with Hunter's Mark. And it's mainly the fact that Hunter has never had AoE definitely makes this better than the effect would be in other classes. And Hunter doesn't have that good early game right now. Like you have Alley Cat, you have Jeweled Macaw. Once you pass turn 3, you've got loads of good stuff. You've got Rat Pack, you've got Animal Companion, you've got Bow, into Houndmaster, etc, etc, etc. So once you're at 3 mana in Hunter, you're fine. But your turn 1 can be pretty clunky. Alley Cat is good. However, it just gets completely cleared up by N'Zoth's First Mate. So Hunter is... If you're against another aggro deck, you're very often falling behind as Hunter. If you're against a control deck, it's generally pretty easy to get ahead on the board. But Hunter is generally playing from behind against control decks. I mean, against aggro decks. So having an AoE effect is really going to help the aggro matchups quite a lot. But the hero power actually helps control matchups, because the hero power is just giving you so much value that you're just going to be able to create big beasts all the time. So I really love this card, and it's kind of like flexibility. Like the hero power is good against control, but the battle cry is good against aggro. Also, it's gaining you armor, so that can be useful. But yeah, I'm gonna be trying this out. Like, is Hunter gonna is Hunter suddenly gonna be good? I'll tell you after we've reviewed all the cards. But I'm going to be trying this out a lot. I love this. I love this. Stitched Tracker. 3 mana 2/2. Battle Cry. Discover a copy of a minion in your deck. So, this is kind of similar to Valkyria, 3 mana 2/2 discover a card. It can only discover a minion, which is a downside, so you can't get a reactive spell. You can't discover like an Unleash the Hounds or something like that. But you can find the beast or the minion, not beast. The minion you need at a specific time a lot of the time. So if you really need a taunt, you could go get your Houndmaster. If you need pressure, you can go get Highmane. So it can give you a third Highmane. You can have 3 Highmanes if you're playing this card, or even 4. If you're playing 2 Stitch Attackers, you discover 2 Highmanes and then play 2 Highmanes. So this can give you what you want when you need it, type of thing. But for this to be good, you need to be playing lots of different types of minions. If all your minions are playing the same thing, like this obviously isn't very good in an aggressive deck. You're not going to be playing Stitch Tracker in Face Hunter, for example. But in a slower Hunter deck, this can give you the minion you need when you need it. So if you need a taunt, you get taunt. If you need something with charge, you can get something with charge. If you need something with lifesteal, you can get something with lifesteal. So it's better than it looks. You're never going to be playing this in aggro Hunter. That's the thing. Like, a lot of these new cards for Hunter are not cards that are good in current archetypes of Hunter, or archetypes of Hunter that we have seen in the past. It's kind of it's almost bringing like a new way to play Hunter. So this card looks terrible. This card would be terrible in pretty much any Hunter deck that has ever been good, really. But in a new type of slower value control-y Hunter, this has potential. Yeah. Bear Shark. 3 mana 4/3 beast. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So, Hunter already has a lot of good things in the 3-drop, in the 3 slot. You got Animal Companion, you got Rat Pack, you got Bow, you got Unleash, you got Kill Command. There's a couple of other 3-drops which are good, which don't really see much play, like Terrascale Stalker and Shaky Zip Gunner. This is nice and aggressive. So it's kind of comparable to Fairy Dragon. It's 1 extra mana, you get +1/+1 stats, and it's a beast. The fact it's a beast makes a big difference because you can use Houndmaster on it, you can use Crackling Razormaw on it. This is definitely an aggro card. You're much more likely to be playing this in an aggressive Hunter deck than a slow Hunter deck. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, would you play this over Animal Companion? Is a question. Because I think, like, how I feel about this is that you'd rather play Misha. You'd rather get me. Like, if you're playing this on like onto an empty board, which is how you want to be playing Bear Shark. Like, Bear Shark, if you're behind, it's really bad. Like, playing a 3 mana 4/3 when you're behind on board, it doesn't matter that it can't be targeted by hero powers because your opponent will just like trade their minions into it a lot of the time. If you're ahead on board, this is great because it means your opponent can't use their reactive spells on it. Frostbolts, etc, etc. And this can just keep pushing damage. So your opponent's probably going to have a weapon, or they're going to really struggle to remove it. So if you're playing this onto an empty board, it's better than Leok, without a doubt. And probably better than Huffer as well, because Huffer, yes, you have the 4 damage. I mean, there's obviously situations. There's different situations where all of the Animal Companion beasts are going to be better. But I like that this gives you an option to play an aggressive minion. Like, you'll probably play Animal Companion and this card and not play Rat Pack. If you're playing an aggressive Hunter deck and you're getting your 3 mana minions, this is a lot more aggressive than Rat Pack. It's obviously not as sticky. But it's a good card. It's a good card. Like, would I play this in Face Hunter? I'm not sure. But maybe like an aggro mid-rangey type thing. Yeah, I like the card. I like the card. It's good. Corpse Widow. 5 mana 4/6 beast. Your death rattle cards cost 2 less. So it's got a decent stat line. 5 mana 4/6 is pretty decent. And the effect is nice. The issue with the effect is that a lot of the time in Hunter, you don't have many cards in your hand. And so it's going to be very hard to actually get this effect on multiple minions. It's nice that you can like play this and play Kindly Grandmother on the same turn. That's a really nice tempo swing. You can play this on 5, and then on turn 6, play your Infested Wolf and your High Main, which is pretty good. So it's a really powerful card. It doesn't help Hunter with its current problems. The current problems Hunter has is that it's not got as strong early game as other aggressive decks. So this is really enforcing the type of a tempo-y mid-range Hunter list. You're going to have to be playing quite a lot of Death Rattles for this to be worth playing, though. But it's a powerful card. It's a powerful card. Can also be good with... there's a couple of new Death Rattle Hunter cards, which we haven't got onto yet, but we'll get onto them shortly. But yeah, I think this will... Well, I think this will see some play. It's... The problem is still Hunter's early game, though. Like, if Hunter had good early game, this card would be fantastic, man. This card would be great. But it's still Hunter's early game that's really laying it down. Play Dead. 1 mana, spell. Trigger friendly minions Death Rattle. So, there aren't that many insane Death Rattles in the game right now. However, Hunter does have 1 or 2 good new Death Rattle cards. So, what you're getting for the mana here is nice. You obviously, like, if you're using it on a high main, that's 1 mana for 2/2/2s, which is great. 1 mana for 2/2/2s is really nice. But are you really going to save this card in your hand just for that? Like, it's not very good on Infested Wolf. It's just like summon 2/1/1s, which is okay. Rat Pack is the same, summon 2/1/1s, it's okay. So, like, every situation you think of this, like most of the normal Hunter cards, Candy Grandmother, they're all okay. Like, you're okay using this on a lot of minions, but it's kind of clunky, which makes it... Like, I definitely think that this will see, like, a bit of play. Maybe just as, like, a one-off in some kind of Hunter. Like, in a control Hunter, I would definitely play Dead with Exploding Bloatbat. So, this is another new card. 4 mana, 2/1. Death Rattle. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It's a beast. So, this is a really interesting card, because it's another... Its stats is obviously terrible, but it's another card that has something that Hunter has never really had, like a Death Rattle AoE. Hunter doesn't have good AoE. So the fact that you can use your Play Dead on your Bloatbat is really nice. So you can play this with Bloatbat on turn 5 and get an instant AoE, and then get another AoE. So Play Dead is fantastic with Bloatbat. There's a lot of things in Hunter it's very average with. A lot of things you're okay using it with. But Bloatbat is very good. There's also another Death Rattle minion, which I'll quickly talk about. Abominable Bowman, 7 mana, 6/7. Death Rattle, summon a random friendly beast that died this game. So this is another card that's good, very good to use Play Dead on. However, that's very slow and clunky. And yeah, if you've survived to use Play Dead on this, you're probably in a good position as Hunter anyway. Yeah, cool card. It has a lot of average uses and some very useful uses. I like that you can also use it on things like Volatile Elemental. It's a card that never really sees much play, but because of Hunter's early game, Volatile Elemental is not that bad, because you're probably going to, against other aggro decks, you're probably going to be falling behind on turn 1, so Volatile Elemental, it's the 2 mana 1/1 Elemental, by the way, that does 3 damage. It has a 3 damage Death Rattle. So you could maybe use this with that and like play the Volatile Elemental on 3, then play the Play Dead, and you do 3 damage to a random enemy, plus you get the 3 damage when the Volatile Elemental actually dies. So this has some other synergies, which could maybe explore. But yeah, a cool card, good card. Venom Strike Trap, 2 mana, secret. When one of your minions is attacked, summon a 2/3 Poisonous Cobra. So obviously Emperor Cobra is a 3 mana 2/3 beast. So with this card, you can get it for 2 mana. I feel like this is not a card you're going to be playing unless you're playing Cloaked Huntress. Like, I feel like you need to be playing Cloaked Huntress to play this card. Is it a card in Secret Hunter that you're going to want to be playing 2 of, or 1 of, or none of? I like the idea of having 1 of it in your deck. Like, having a Poisonous... Poisonous is very good. Poison is very good, and the fact that you can use like Handmaster on it, and then buff its health so that it can trade into low attack minions and just kill off all these high health, low attack minions is nice. And it also makes your opponent play around stuff. Like Hunter kind of has the best secrets in terms of... Like the Hunter secrets are the hardest to play around, because you can get punished for like attacking a minion, attacking face, plate, like whatever you do, you could get potentially punished really hard. Like if you cast a spell, you can get catch rate. Like Hunter's secrets, like Hunter, I think has the best set of secrets. And so adding this to the mix is really interesting. Like it doesn't really fit a face hunter style of deck. So a lot of the time when you're playing Secret Hunter, you're going to be playing an aggressive hunter. This would probably be better in a slightly slower Secret Hunter. I mean, not too much slower. Like you're still going to be kind of like aggro-y, mid-rangey. But I don't think it's a card you're going to want to be playing two of, though. Like, yes, it's pretty good, but if your opponent just attacks your face, then you don't get any Cobras. Also, is it better than Snake Trap? Is the question. I mean, it's kind of similar to Snake Trap, right? It's just got loads of snakes on it. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're playing a deck that has lots of AoE, this is probably going to be better than Snake Trap. But if you're against an aggro deck, like, I think this is better against slow and control decks, whereas Snake Trap, I think, is better against aggro decks. Because aggro decks generally tend to not run AoE. I mean, Shaman has, like, Maelstrom Portal, and Druid sometimes have Swipe, but they're just kind of, there's 2 cards in their entire decks. And yeah, so Snake Trap can be really good against aggro. But yeah, this will be probably better against slower stuff. I almost feel like you would probably rather play Snake Traps in your deck than this. But I can see one of this being played in some Secret Hunter for sure. Maybe with this card. Professor Putricide. 4-mana 5/4. After you play a secret, put a random Hunter secret into the battlefield. So 4-mana 5/4, not that exciting start line. It's not a beast. However, you can play it the turn after you've played Cloaked Huntress. So you can play Cloaked Huntress on 3, and then maybe even like hold secrets back just to use them with Professor Putricide to get extra secrets. Because if you play this with 1 secret, that is great value. That is great value. And it's a card your opponent is going to have to kill. Like, if they don't kill this, they're going to be worried you can just get a load of secrets. Like, play this on 4, and then they can't kill it, and then just jam 2 more secrets, and they get 2 more secrets for free as well. Like, I really like this card a lot. However, you can compare this to Genzo, which is another 4-mana 5/4 that has a good effect in aggressive decks that hasn't really seen that much play. And the problem is that Hunter isn't that good at being ahead, and for this to be good, like, if you're playing this onto an empty board, you need to be ahead. If you're not ahead on the board, it's just going to get traded into a die. One bonus of this, though, is that it doesn't have to survive for a turn. Like I said, you can play it with Cloaked Huntress, or you can play it on turn 6, combined with a secret. So this card's effect is very good. What's letting it down is, once again, Hunter's early game, though. Toxic Arrow. A 2-mana spell, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, give it poisonous. So deal 2 damage to a minion is obviously pretty underpowered for a 2-mana spell. But it has the bonus and flexibility of, if it survives, give it poisonous. So you can give one of your own minions that either has Divine Shield or over 2 health poisonous. So you need to be ahead on the board for this to actually work, or you can use it on something with charge, like a Tundra Rhino. But a lot of Hunter's early game has very low attack. So you've got like Candy Grandmother, Alley Cat, Jewel Macaw, Scavenging Hyena, Crackling Razormaw. They all have 1 or 2 attack. And so you're not going to be able to use this on any of your early minions, which is not good. This is much more of a... Like, the poisonous is going to be used a lot, like, more in the mid-game and late game. So if you are using this early, you are probably just going to be using it to deal 2 damage, which can sometimes be good. Like, if 2 damage clears a minion, like, if your opponent plays, like, say you play your Alley Cat, and then your opponent plays their Enchanted Raven, and you Toxic Arrow their Enchanted Raven, like, you're pretty happy with that. You're pretty happy with that. So there are a lot of situations where dealing 2 damage to a minion isn't that bad. Also, you can... Like, the difference between 2 and 3 damage is big, though. But what kind of helps this card is that Hunter has lots of, like, 1 attack things. So you can trade your Jeweled Macaw, which you played on turn 1, into their 3 health, into their Mana Worm, for example, and then use Toxic Arrow on it. Or you could, like, coin Candy Grandmother turn 1, and then trade the Grandmother in and Toxic Arrow. So I think this card will actually see some play. If Hunter, a slower Hunter deck actually makes it, I think it will play this card. Just because it helps Hunter in the early game. Like if Quickshot was in the map, like still available in standard, Quickshot would be very good right now. This isn't quite Quickshot, but can be useful for Hunter because of Hunter's lack of early game. Okay, what next? So we spoke about Exploding Bloatbat. Really excited for this card actually. It just gives Hunter something that's never really had, and can really help against aggro potentially, especially with Play Dead. Play Dead Bloatbat synergy is really nice. Abominable Bowman, 7 or 6/7. So this is very slow. It does work with Corpse Widow, so you can coin Corpse Widow out on turn 5 and then play Abominable Bowman for 5 mana, which is really nice. So this can have synergies. It's also good with Play Dead. It's not as good as High Main, I don't think. Like, there are situations where this can be insane. Like, if you get a Bloatbat back from this, if you get High Main back from this, it's great. If you get the 5 mana Lifesteal minion, this is really good. The issue with this card is that a lot of Hunter decks play you have a lot of 1/1s. When you're playing things like Alicat, Jewel Macaw, Rat Pack, that type of thing, you're going to have a lot of 1/1s in your deck. And this card has a high chance of just bringing back a 1/1 or something fairly weak. I mean, it does have okay stats, so its stats aren't terrible. But it's really bad if you get a 1/1 still. So I almost feel like if you're playing this card, you're going to want to be playing this in a deck where, in like a more control-y Hunter, where you're playing things like Bloatbat and the Lifesteal minion, and then your early game is more reactive cards, things like Toxic Arrow and like Grievous Bite, I think it's called. It's 2 damage to 1 minion, then 1 to either side, that type of thing. Also, minions that aren't beasts don't count. So if you're playing something like Mistress of Mixtures in your Hunter deck, which you might be. You might be playing Mistress of Mixtures in your Control Hunter deck. Then it doesn't have the chance of bringing that back because it's not a beast. So you can play a Control Hunter deck that specifically has good beasts that work with this, and then your other minions aren't. Like, can be cheaper stuff that you don't want back from this. So it's probably too clunky to play. Even in a Control Hunter deck, it might be too clunky to play 2 of. But if you're playing a slow Hunter deck, I don't see why you can't play one of these. Hunter doesn't have anything to do on turn 7, really. That's that good. You're probably going to be playing 2 high mains in the majority of Hunter decks. And this is just something to curve out afterwards. It's not a beast itself, which is a minor downside. But, yeah, I feel like if Hunter is going to be a thing, it's going to have to be a very control your opponent's early game and then come back into the game in the mid game type of thing. So, yeah. Are there any cards we haven't talked about yet? No, we've talked about all of them now. So, yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about Hunter right now. I feel like Hunter, its early game is so bad that you're going to be... like, for Hunter to work... I mean, you can even play Secret Hunter, because Cloaked Huntress is, like, the best Hunter card for tempo. Like, Cloaked Huntress, you can coin out on turn 2 and then play multiple Secrets. And that's pretty insane. So, if there is going to be some kind of aggressive Hunter deck around, I think it will involve Cloaked Huntress, without a doubt. But in terms of other types of Hunter decks, your early game is so bad that you're probably going to be trying to play things like Exploding Bloatbat. You just want to try and survive the early game so you can get to your big mid-game plays. Like, you can get great tempo out of things like Corpse Widow as well. So, yeah, I mean, maybe you even just play, like, Explosive Trap on turn 2. Like, maybe you just play Secrets in a Control Hunter even. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to do lots of experimenting with Hunter. I love Hunter, and so yeah, I really want it to work, even though I don't think the cards it's got are that insane. Like, it's got a lot... I mean, it's got some good cards. That's the thing. Hunter has got some really good cards. Like, if Hunter had good early game, I'd be like, oh, these cards are great. Definitely going to be playing loads of Corpse Widow. Bear Shock's great when you're ahead. Oh, Professor Putricide's really nice when you're ahead. But it's just so hard to be ahead as Hunter in aggro matchups. Like, Hunter has always been good against control, and Hunter will continue to be good against control. That's not going to change. But Hunter's against aggro is where Hunter struggles right now. And the only things it's got to help against aggro are these AoE cards. And there's a couple of neutral minions that could potentially help Hunter against aggro. But, yeah. I'm definitely going to be smashing some Death Knight Hunter. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next review.